but we have nothing. We're tens of thousands of dollars in credit card debt. Every investor said no to us. We've launched 3 times, and we have like almost no customers every single day. So I could tell you I didn't feel like successful or smart or talented at this moment. I felt like the world was against me. I would go to sleep with my heart pounding every night. I'd wake up like wide awake, like what am I gonna do? How am I gonna get through the day? We have no money. And we wake up at 8 o'clock. We go to bed at midnight, 7 days a week. We work from 8 to midnight every single day. And 7 days a week, we get full night's sleep, but that was it. And we would, in that dedication for 3 to 4 months, created this real serious rhythm where we weren't doing other things. We were totally focused. It's an investment, nuclear winter, and the only people that will survive are cockroaches, and you're a cockroach. I'm different than most technology founders insofar that I actually went to art school. I went to the Rhode Island School of Design, and I studied industrial design. And growing up, I never really thought about being an entrepreneur. I didn't even know that existed. I don't even know if I ever heard the word entrepreneur. That would have been an almost absurd thing to say in upstate New York, where I grew up, to use that word. My parents are both social workers. My mom used to have a joke. She said, I chose a job for the love, and I made no money, so she chose a job for the money. And I said, well, I'm going to art school. And she said, oh my God, you chose the only path in life that's going to pay less than a social worker, because you're going to be at arts and get paid nothing. And so she said, if you do that, make sure you don't move back home, live in my basement, make sure that you get a job one day, and that if you get that job, then make sure that job has health insurance. This is like a grand ambition for my parents. So it wasn't about starting any kind of big company or scaling up a company. And so I wasn't going to be able to call my parents, oh my God, what do I do? I have 100 employees, how do I scale? That wasn't going to happen in my family. I remember my life, and you may be confronted with decisions, where everything in front of me in my life looks like everything behind me. In other words, the road is like a disappearing road into the horizon. And it kind of terrified me. One other thing happened at RISD, I met my co-founder. While I'm living in LA, working as an industrial designer, and my friend Joe at RISD was trying to convince me to leave my company and go to San Francisco, and we were going to start a company. We had no idea what this company was going to be. We just thought, think of the big idea. But one day, I go to work, I quit my job, and I took some old foam mattress, I rolled it up in the backseat of the old Honda Civic, and with $1,000 at the bank, I drive up to San Francisco. This is October 2007. I get to San Francisco, and Joe tells me the rent is $1,150. I didn't have enough money for rent. That weekend, this international design conference was coming to San Francisco. We literally have no money. In fact, I don't know how I'm gonna make rent. So we thought, what if we just created a bed and breakfast for the design conference? Designers need a place to stay. Joe had 3 airbeds. He had gone camping, and he had kept some airbeds. We inflated the airbeds, and we called it the Air Bed and Breakfast. And that's where the name comes from, airbedandbreakfast.com. I asked Joe, I said, who's the best engineer you know? And Joe said, well, my old roommate Nate is. He went to Harvard, he's a computer scientist. And so the 3 of us got together and said, we basically had this core idea. We said, what if you could book someone's home the way you could book a hotel anywhere in the world? And that's basically how it started. In the summer of 2008, we ended up basically designing the final version of the product. So we designed this product where you could book someone's home anywhere in the world. I think there were a couple lessons there. Number one, all these really good ideas or big ideas often sound like stupid ideas. Somebody once told me in the early days, don't worry about anyone stealing your idea. If it's any good, everyone will dismiss it. And that was exactly the truth. And the second thing was that a lot of these ideas are you solving your own problem, and they're not like some life-changing problem. It's in a nuisance. And that was clearly the case for us. But we have nothing. So this is now almost a year into the business. We're tens of thousands of dollars in credit card debt. Every investor said no to us. We've launched 3 times. We've gotten national press, and we have almost no customers every single day. And now one of my co-founders decides he's moving to Boston. He's getting engaged, and his fiance is maybe not interested in living in the West Coast. And it was unclear if we were going to stay together as a founding team. And this was everyone hits rock bottom. For me, this is rock bottom. We're totally in debt. We don't know what to do. We're desperate, late at night, it's midnight when 1 in the morning, and Joe and I think maybe we're airbed and breakfast, the airbeds aren't working out, maybe we could sell breakfast. I told one mentor of mine about this business. He said, Brian, I hope that's not the only idea you're working on. My mom said, if you need money, you don't need to have strangers stay in your home, let me send you money. So people were very worried. And you start wondering about the decisions you've made in life to get here. So I could tell you I didn't feel like successful or smart or talented at this moment. I felt like the world was against me. I would go to sleep with my heart pounding every night. I'd wake up like wide awake, like what am I going to do? How am I going to get through the day? We have no money. Paul Graham used to say startups don't die, they just fade away. And we wake up at 8 o'clock. We go to bed at midnight, 7 days a week, and we work from 8 to midnight every single day. And 7 days a week, we get full night's sleep, but that was it. And we would, in that dedication for 3 to 4 months, created this real serious rhythm where we weren't doing other things. We were totally focused. We meet with Paul Graham at Y Combinator, and he said, it's an investment, nuclear winter, and the only people that will survive are cockroaches, and you're a cockroach. For like 6 months, that was the only compliment I got. And Sequoia Capital invested $600,000. Technically speaking, the product is whatever the customer's buying. The customers are not buying our website. They're not buying our application. That's just a storefront of communication. What they're buying is a house. And frankly, what they're buying more than a house is the host, experience of hospitality, this idea of belonging. Probably the most important single piece of advice I got, which is probably advice that is probably the most important advice I can give you. It's better to have 100 people that love you, 100 customers that love you, than 1 million customers that just sort of like you. In other words, if you have 100 people that absolutely love your product, they'll tell 100 people, and then they'll tell 100 people, or even 10 people, and this thing will grow. We call it growing virally. In fact, almost all movements in history have grown this way as well. There's like deeply passionate followers, and they grow it, and they're customer advocates. How the hell am I going to get 1 million people to do this if I can't even get my mom and my sister to do it? But I can find 100 people. And so we literally decided, do things that don't scale. If all you need to do is get 100 people to love you, do things that don't scale. On Airbnb, the hosts were in New York, but the travelers came from all over the world. So people all over the world would hear about and discover homes in New York. They would travel to New York, and they'd also travel to San Francisco, and then they'd go back to their city, and they'd spread the idea. The other thing is they would go from a guest to a host. And so the network naturally grew. But we wanted to build a product where you loved it so much you would tell everyone about it. It would have a meaningful impact on your life. And we believe that travel has the impact to transform your life. Then it's very easy to take for granted that the 5-star is what people expect. But to build something people love, you almost need to do something more than they expect. Every moment is an opportunity to do something slightly more than people expect. People need to be in the mindset of your product. This is not a job. This is not even a career. This is a calling. This is a passion. There's this old parable about 2 men. They're laying bricks. A guy comes up to one man. He goes, "What are you building?" He goes, "I'm building a wall." He asks the other person, "What are you building?" He goes, "I'm building a cathedral." I think Simon Sinek wrote about it. It's the idea that you're building this mission. You're creating this kind of world. Every one of us has to be a product person. You can't be a business person. You're a product person first and foremost. And product needs a rule, and the product is the thing you're selling. And so we need to be deeply passionate, all of us, about everything that we're doing with the product. And it really told people in the company, you should use the product. And I think a strong culture is when people believe and feel in what you're doing. A strong culture is a place where it's a founder-led culture, and it's where the founders really impose this kind of strong, kind of way of doing things that people buy into and are deeply passionate about being there. And again, it's not a job. Weak cultures, it's lame to hang out with your coworkers. Strong cultures, it's totally natural. The first thing I realized is the most important cultural event is every time you hire somebody. When you're starting a company, the most important culture decisions you make are the people you surround yourself with. The second most important is deciding when people aren't fits, removing them. Culture are like beliefs that should never change under any technological conditions. You have to basically be relentlessly doing cultural things every week, so you have to continue to repeat things. So I think culture is about repetition. It's about repeating over and over and over again the things that really matter at a company. But the way you don't pick up a culture is by focusing on it and designing it. So you pick just a few things. You can't pick everything, because then you're like Big Brother. See, everyone, when they ask me at Airbnb, they always ask me about the founding days. You have 5 stages. Stages 2, 3, 4, and 5 are as complicated or more complicated as stage 1. I think stage 1 is actually fairly straightforward. Solve your own problem, do something that don't scale, find 100 people to love it, and have some really great co-founders that you trust. Make sure you are full stack designers and engineers in your founding team, ideally. But the thing after that, there's not a lot of books about, and everyone gives you the wrong advice, and you've got to figure it out, and you're kind of on your own. Every 6 months, you keep your job, it's a promotion. I almost think in hindsight, it's better to say every 6 months is a totally different job. It's not like this metaphor of you're an athlete. You start playing tennis, then you're a bowler, then you're a football player, and then you're playing hockey. The job changes so much, you're almost playing a different sport at every job. I don't know if it's rare, but it's hard to start a company, to be the right person to start a company, and be the right person to manage it when it's 1,000 people. The most important thing, I think, is being adaptable, because no one's an expert at everything. But you got to be very adaptable. We have to kind of be kids at heart in startups, I find, in the sense that you're curious, you're open-minded, you're welcoming, you're adventurous, and you're not a know-it-all. Know-it-alls will never scale in startups. So if somebody's a know-it-all, they know everything, so they'll never know more. So you're not going to scale. That's kind of the way I think about it. The first stage is, I think, survival. Meaning, like, you're not meant to survive. So you start this company, you have this idea, and everyone's telling you you're crazy, you can't get any money, you can't raise any money, you're co-founders, you don't even know if everyone's going to keep working on it. And so I call that, like, survival. And, like, not dying is working on it the next day. The second stage is probably, like, firefighting. And so then you, like, are firefighting. Oh, my God, we're growing. I need to hire these people. I don't know what to do. And then once you get through the survival and some of the initial firefighting, you've gained the luxury of having all these other people now decide to copy you and try to destroy you. So it's that now it's existential threats, true existential threats. Because we're a business that's in the real world, I think the biggest thing I've had to learn how to do is learn. I want you to learn about the basics of UI design. And you had a week, what would you do? I want you to really learn it. I want you to learn everything that's important. I want you to become like an expert, or at least a temporary expert, such that you could know the basics and know the most important things. You would probably read like a ton of books, talk to a ton of people, and interview people, and go through this fairly exhaustive process to learn about UI design. And so what if I told you, well, in that week, I also actually want you to learn about the basics of front-end development. I want you to learn about the basics of accounting so you can have balanced books. And I want you to also understand how to incorporate a company. Now, how do you do that? What you learn is you can't learn everything about a topic, so you have to be very good at short-circuiting to learn from the definitive source about the topic. The skill becomes you hope that you go to the right source, but you also find that if you read the right source, you don't have to read any other sources.